I didn't realize at the time that I was abusing my body. You don't have to be a superwoman. Before WarriorBabe, I was eating clean, but I wasn't eating enough. Take the big step, take the risk, because it does work if you do the work. But you do have to do the work, and you can't be afraid of, doing the work. You gotta become comfortable being uncomfortable.
What if I told you guys that even when life throws its toughest challenges, like battling long COVID, even knee surgery, that you could still rebuild your strength, you could still transform your mindset and take back control of your health at any age? Well, Leynise thought she was doing everything right, training hard, staying active, but her body was screaming for help. And through WarriorBabe, she not only overcame these obstacles, but found a way to thrive. And today, we're going to dive into how she did it and how you can too. Leynise, welcome.
I am originally from Puerto Rico. I've been in the States, in the mainland, for a long time. Came to the States to go to school at 18. Ended up staying after getting my degree, and the rest is history. I'm 53 years old. Been active my entire life. I've been in sport, and it's something that I crave. I need that dopamine, endorphins running through my blood. I was married. I ended my marriage. A few months later, I lost my job. My job got eliminated. So I lost my identity. At that point in time, I decided I needed to transform my life, right? That's really when my journey started. And I decided that I was going to concentrate, I was going to put myself first for the first time in a long time. And I was living life at its best. I was traveling on my own, going to places that I wanted to see, doing all the things that biking, I road bike, I mountain bike. I went to Tanzania and I was healthy when I left and I wasn't when I came back. So I came back with COVID and it took me about 2 months. It hit me really hard, 2 months to recover from that. So I watched one of your videos and I was like, okay, I'll give it a thought. I was doing my thing, trying to get back on my feet, and I noticed that I'm not making any progress. And menopause is hitting me, and things are changing, and my body's starting to change. And I was like, hell no, this is not happening. So I was like, let me go find this lady that I put on my revisit folder and see if I can get some help. So I was visiting my parents for a couple of weeks, so I dove into the documents and I read every single one of them, and I was like, okay, I'm already doing all of this, so let me call Jeannie back. So I get back on the phone with her, and she's like, we can sign you up for the VIP program. I was like, all right, let's do that. And I was like, let me see how this works out and how I like it before I commit, for a whole year. First thing she tells me is, you need to slow down.
How did doing too much physical activity, and I'm assuming like under eating or not understanding macros, like how did that affect your day-to-day life?
I slept good, I can tell you that, because I was always exhausted. Of course, I was like the skinny fat because I was under eating. I didn't have the muscle mass that I wanted to have.
How are doing all of those things, like dealing with those challenges, how are they affecting you both like mentally and physically?
I didn't realize at the time that I was abusing my body. I thought I was doing a good thing when I was talking to Carrie. I'm like bragging about, I'm doing all these things, right? and she's like,
As any type A personality would.
yeah, so it's like, I'm doing all these things and life is good. And so she was like, we need to slow you down if we're going to do this. I was like, okay. I was like, I'll give that a try. So I made it a point to start giving some of the stuff that I was doing up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm to the point where I'm actually almost there. And I injured torn my meniscus, my right knee. And the way I tore it, I was on crutches because it took me a month. I couldn't straighten my leg. I couldn't bend my leg. It was stuck. So I had to wait a month to see an orthopedic doctor. I had to wait a month to get an MRI, and then another month for the surgery. So Carrie was awesome during this time. She was very supportive. I don't know where I would have been without her, because we worked on my nutrition. And
Were you doing workouts at the same time? Did she give you like alternative modifications to workouts?
yeah, she put a program together to work my upper body, especially my arms. So it started with very lightweight. Started with 5 pounds at times, doing some exercises.
When you finally joined, what were your thoughts when you joined? What were you skeptical about?
I wasn't really skeptical. because I did my homework. I not only watched your video, but then I might as well call the FBI because I did a background check on you. And I made sure you were a real person and the company was legit and
Fair, fair.
successful. So I did all my homework before I joined. That's just again type A personality.
You can see that
So
in your mindset, and you can see that
yeah,
in the way that you tackle your day to day, even by just what you're explaining now. You're learning that this is a new chapter of your life that you need to understand how you will navigate it, and watching your energy and listening to your body. And that's coming from somebody that you shared at the beginning of this, that you were like, I'm doing it all. I work out every day. I'm active and I go get it. To now, the mentality that you have is like, okay, if God's handed me these obstacles to learn to understand and to grasp and learn how to navigate life differently. And so now you're looking at it through a different lens of, I have to listen to myself and listen to my body and slow down and not do as much as I used to do before. But you still have that determination mindset to still accomplish the goals that you've set after for yourself, which is amazing. And you should be proud of yourself for that. You had mentioned that Coach Carrie has been the best coach for me. She's helped me to continue my journey even through hardships. She has been my biggest cheerleader. Her accountability, I probably would have quit long ago. I'm 1 year, 7 months into the program, and you just signed up for your third year in hopes that you can gain your health back, which is incredible. I feel like I'm healing my body through movement. You are a warrior. You are a true warrior, babe.
thank you. That means a lot. At times I'm like feel like giving up and just waving that white flag and Carrie, I come to Carrie, I'm like, I have no more fight. She's like, you're a warrior, just like we're
Keep
gonna,
going.
keep going kind of thing. And she believes in me and she makes it a point to tell me. Um and that definitely changes my mindset at times when I'm not feeling so well, when I'm feeling a little sorry for myself because I'm going through this. But at the same time, I look at other people and I'm like, there's other people that are going through worse, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people going through this. I can't just quit. I just went, 15 miles down the road and I'm tired. So what am I going to do? Am I just going to sit on the curve and wait for somebody to pick me up? It's like, no, you just keep going until you make it back to your car. Or,
That's
if you're on a hike, same thing. It's like,
a very inspiring mentality. And I hope that when this gets shared with many other women that are going to resonate with your story, whether it be one, whether it be 50, whether it be 100, that could be taken by you and shared in these support groups and be like, hey, like we're all struggling with this. I hope that maybe one of you or two of you or 50 of you could get this perspective and knowing that don't give up. Don't have the mentality of giving up because you're a true warrior and continuing on despite the challenges that have been handed your way. And people that are going to be able to listen to this and hear this will be motivated and be like, if Leynise can do this, then, she's someone I'm going to look up to because I have the same symptoms, but I don't want to feel the way I'm feeling anymore. Like I want to have the mentality like Leynise does. And so that will trickle very, very far, and that will impact many, many lives. What do you feel like are some of your most top achievements when it comes to Warrior Babe? Like, is it learning macros, for example, or, you're starting to see your body composition change, or what would be your top achievement for you?
definitely getting my macros, finally figuring out my macros. It took me about 3 months to get it there. And then
Did you have any idea about macros before? Were you aware of them?
I did, but I didn't really know how to work the food to meet the macros. Like
Mhm.
it was frustrating for me, and that was one of the things. So that was one of the things that would frustrate me because I was like, how do people do this? Like, do you have to be at the beginning when I would join, I would tell Carrie, I'm like, do you have to be a scientist to like be able to do this? I'm like, I don't get it.
How do you feel
And
about macros now today?
I love them. I no longer regret getting into. It's like I have to enter my macros.
That's a huge testament to you learning and understanding your macros. There's a trend of these interviews that I'm starting to do that have been made mention that a lot of women and warrior babes are eating the same thing. The fact that you can take 2 weeks off of tracking your macros. I mean, you've been at this for a year and 7 months, so you have a very general, you have a deep understanding now at this point of macronutrients and protein and carbs and fats and eating the same things and looking at these meals. It's like that's a huge testament to your success, that you understand macros, being able to take 2 weeks off and looking at it like that's I don't want people to track macros for the rest of their life. Like, I do not expect you to like pull out your MyFitnessPal or pull out a scale and be like, yeah, this is what I'm eating right now while you're like with family or friends. Like, no, I want you guys to look at a meal that you've been tracking for 2-3 years and be like, okay, I know that this is this much protein, fats, and carbs. Like, I will eat this like consistently throughout the day. And then like you can have a cheat meal at night or off meal, but your body will recognize like you've had a set amount of food for the day. So being able to do that for 2 weeks is huge.
So yeah, so to this day, there's exercises where I'm like, I'm just doing, 8 pounds, and I'm okay with that. And because I'm listening to my body and I'm going to do what's best for my body because I've already abused it for too long, right? So that's one of the biggest messages that I wanted to drive during this conversation. It's like, you don't have to like be a superwoman or try to be a superwoman to make changes, to help your body transform. Now, the macros is the most important part of that equation, in my opinion.
Nutrition is king.
Yes.
Exercise is queen.
Before WarriorBabe, I was eating clean, but I wasn't eating enough. For all the stuff that I was doing, I was not eating enough. But I really wasn't feeling hungry.
You know why? I need to like share this so that others know this too as well that are listening. Do you know why you weren't hungry?
Why? I
Because
don't know.
your metabolism basically adapted to the low caloric intake or the low amount of food that you were consuming on a daily basis. So therefore, you wouldn't feel hungry. It was just used to you not consuming maybe what the macros are that you're consuming now or what Carrie told you to, to start eating when you initially came in. That's why women like they don't eat enough. And then when we say we want you to eat more, it's essentially because we want to kickstart your metabolism to wake it up so that you can't drop body fat only eating 900 calories. At that point, it's holding on to it and it's just adapted. So we want you to eat more so that you can lose the body fat that you want.
Yeah, but I was also amazed, 3 months that I was like sitting around a whole lot, waiting on my knee surgery, how I was like, Carrie, are we going to like decrease my macros, my calories? And she's like, no, we're going to leave it the same. Yeah. And I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. I was like, just trust me, okay?
Trust us now, believe us later.
So I went through all that. I didn't gain a pound. I mean, I was like amazed at the end of that. I was like, there was no change in weight whatsoever.
For those that are watching this right now or listening to this right now that may be unsure about taking that next step, like, as you shared earlier, you're like, oh, I'm gonna just take this, I'm gonna revisit it later on. But then I was in your brain, and then I kept popping up on your social media, and there's somebody else that's struggling with that next step too as well right now. What would you tell them about WarriorBabe and the impact it could have on their life?
Take the big step, take the risk, because it does work if you do the work. But you do have to do the work, and you can't be afraid of, doing the work. You gotta become comfortable being uncomfortable at the beginning, and then it's just as easy as riding a bike. Just do it. Nikki knows what she's doing. I made sure that she knew. That
background checking off. FBI, you should be. If you want a new job, Leynise, FBI has got an interview for you.
Nikki's legit, so you can take the step and trust the process.
Oh, Leynise, thank you so much for sharing your story. It's definitely been one that has been challenging for you, and I know hard and uncomfortable at times, but it seems like you're a true warrior, that you've accepted it and you're working through it and you're not giving up and you're going to keep going and you're dedicated to continue to improve your health and your journey along the way. And that's very inspiring. You should be proud of everything that you've accomplished so far. And you keep going. You're only 53, right? What would you say to somebody that's your age right now too, that's like, I'm too old?
There's no such thing. Age is just a number. I'm a 26-year-old and a 53-year-old boy.
Oh, I love that.
Um, yeah, just it can be done. Anybody can do this. If I can do this while I'm like in the trenches, imagine how much you can get done being healthy. So that's why I signed up for a third year, because so I'm already have it in my head that I'm gonna be healthy this year. And you talked about starting a new chapter, but I'm starting a whole new book this year, and I'm just like leaving everything else behind. I'm not adding any chapters. I'm writing a new book. And so, and part of that book is I'm gonna be healthy and happy. And with that is gonna come new adventures. That's my thing for 2025. So if I can do this, so can you.